the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be always acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our salvation. Amen. Blind Bartimaeus was sitting by the side of the road. He was there each day as the traffic went by. Since he couldn't see anything, his other senses were keen. He heard the slap of sandals on the pavement. He smelled the sheep and touched their hide as they passed by. He felt the coins people tossed on his cloak stretched out on the ground. Bartimaeus was a beggar. Being blind, there was no other way to support himself. Begging was accepted then, and Jericho was an affluent city. There was money to give away. Bartimaeus lived literally by the generosity of others. We all benefit from generosity. We're in a hospital waiting room and someone we've never met offers us encouragement and says, "I'll keep you in my prayers." Doesn't it make us feel good? Or we're standing in the doorway at Kmart, hearing the Salvation Army bell, and someone we know who has no money to spare drops in a $10 bill and wishes a Merry Christmas. This kind of generosity makes the world work. It's something to keep in mind as the church has its every household giving drive. J.S. Bach was poor as a child. He was orphaned at 10 and had to make his way in the world alone. One day, when Bach was a teenager, he was walking in a city where he would study music. He stopped in an inn thinking he'd get something to eat, but he realized it was too pricey for him. He didn't have enough money, so he sat down on the side of the street to rest. Out of a window above, someone tossed 2 fish heads. They landed with a thunk next to Bach on the pavement. He was hungry enough to eat anything, so he picked one of them up and brushed it off. Inside the fish head, he found a ducat, which was a gold coin. There was one in the other fish head too. Now Bach had 2 gold ducats, or about half a year's salary. Someone was looking out for him. He was able to buy dinner, get a room for the night, and continue his journey for a while. No one threw fish heads at Bartimaeus. Actually, he probably made a decent living begging. He was poor, not destitute, and like Bach, the generosity of strangers supported him. One day, Bartimaeus heard the commotion of a crowd coming by him. You'd have to be in a crowd yourself and close your eyes to get a sense of what it must have been like for Bartimaeus. What is it? What's going on? He didn't know. Then he heard a couple of people say the name, Yeshua, Yeshua, Jeshua. The teacher is here, the healer. That was all Bartimaeus needed to know. He needed to act quickly. This is his once-in-a-lifetime chance. So Bartimaeus cries out, literally he screams, "Jesus, have mercy on me." Over and over he says it. People try to shush him, but he says it all the more loudly, "Have mercy on me." What he says in the Greek New Testament is eleison. Again and again, that word, eleison. If it sounds familiar to you, it's because it's found in the Book of Common Prayer on page 356. Kyrie eleison, Lord, have mercy. Jesus does 2 things. He stands still and he says in a loud voice, "Call him over here." He stays in one spot, and he allows Bartimaeus to find him by the sound of his voice. Bartimaeus tosses off his cloak. He goes over to Jesus. Jesus places a hand on his head and shoulder and asks, "What do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do for you?" It's the question God asks us all. Our answers say a lot about what our life is like right now. What are our struggles and what are our heartaches? Bartimaeus is simple. Lord, I want to see. I want to be able to see the sky and the trees. I want to see the children playing. I want to see the faces of people speaking to me. I want to see. Jesus responds, "Your faith has made you well." Suddenly, Bartimaeus can see. He doesn't go home and tell his family. He goes on with Jesus like a kitten after milk. I love what Jesus says. Your faith has made you well. He doesn't say, I have made you well. He attributes the change to Bartimaeus himself, to his own faith. His faith found Jesus. His faith threw aside the cloak and let the coins go flying. His faith stumbled over to Jesus. His faith made all the difference. I'd like to show you a scene from The Wizard of Oz. Has anybody ever seen that one? Yeah. Dorothy is being held prisoner by the wicked witch in her castle. Her dog Toto has escaped and goes to warn the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man. This happens next. I love this scene. The Tin Man thinks he has no heart, but he's crying at the thought of Dorothy in danger. The lion thinks he has no courage, but he's saying, "Let me at him. I'll tear him apart." He's ready to fight. The scarecrow thinks he has no brain, but he's making a plan to save Dorothy. Do you see it? Each of them has the very thing they claim not to have: a heart, courage, a brain. They already each have these things. They just don't know it or see it. It takes the Wizard of Oz later on to show them. In a similar way, Bartimaeus didn't realize what he had. He was used to being the one in need, the one asking, the one defined by what he did not have, his sight. He didn't even realize what a great gift he had, his faith. The presence of Jesus brought it out of him. The presence of Jesus drew the faith out of him, but it was there all along, hidden, latent, waiting to come out. Your faith has made you well. Now, I don't think faith is a blank check that will get us anything we want, but it is a powerful resource in our lives, like a heart, like courage, like brains. Faith can lie hidden in us, waiting for the right day and time to come out. Do you think you have no faith? Then think again. You have more than you know, more than enough. Remember what Jesus said about the mustard seed of faith. Whatever crisis we are facing, whatever castle is holding us captive, like Dorothy, whatever heartache is plaguing us, know that we have the faith it takes to face it. We have the faith to endure it. we have the faith to overcome it. When we don't expect it, Jesus' presence will come. Jesus' presence will draw our faith out of hiding, and Jesus' presence will bring us wholeness we have not known before. Each of us comes here to worship every Sunday to taste Jesus' presence, to feel Jesus' presence, to see Jesus' presence in the Eucharist. Then, as we walk away, we too will hear those words, your faith has made you well. And the people said,